Hi, guys. This is the real Dana, and welcome to Dana with the Data Short Take. Today, I'm talking about AOC blasting the Parents' Bill of Rights Act that is set to be voting on this week in the House of Representatives.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think what we're seeing here today is the Republican Party's attempt to take some of the most heinous legislation that we are seeing passed on the state level to attack our trans and LGBT, as well as people from marginalized communities, right to exist in schools. This flowery language of quote unquote parental rights and freedom hides the sinister fact of this legislative text. If you notice in these arguments, they are not really discussing what is actually in this legislation. It includes two provisions that require schools to out trans, non-binary, and LGBT youth, even if it would put said youth in harm's way. One of the highest rates of youth homelessness is in the LGBT community, from parents who want to kick their children out in households that may be unstable or abusive. For so many children of abuse, school is their only safe place to be. But before they claim that this is not about banning books and not about harming the LGBT community, let's just look at the impacts of similar Republican legislation that has already passed on the state level. Look at these books that have already been banned due to Republican measures. The Life of Rosa Parks. This apparently is too woke by the Republican Party. Song of Solomon is unacceptable to Republican politics. 40% of banned books have reported are significantly addressing and specifically addressing LGBT issues. To say and talk about government reach and freedom, this Republican bill is asking the government to force the outing of LGBT people before they are ready. And talking about the rights of parents in this gallery today, the National Parents Union is here saying, don't do this. I have a letter that I'd like to submit where they are asking the Republican Party to keep culture wars out of classrooms. Our children need urgent and aggressive educational solutions. The American Library Association coming out against this Republican proposal. When we talk about progressive values, I can say what my progressive value is, and that is freedom over fascism.
Okay. So, what exactly is the fascism? Are you saying the Republicans are trying to push it? I say the opposite. I think you and your colleagues on the Democratic side are pushing more fascism. Why? Because the thing is, I do have a problem banning books, especially when it has to do with history, Black history to be specific. But the reason why you have certain states like Florida that are banning books, such as, let's say, a Rosa Parks or books like Rosa Parks, is because of the LGBTQ, or let me just say this woke mob of people who claim to be woke, leftists, liberals. You allowed LGBTQ curriculum and studies and readings and scholarship to be implemented in Black topics, in Black history, in Black curriculum. So, what do you expect? You started it. Black books did not become a problem until the LGBTQ started implementing their curriculum in Black studies. So the problems that the Republicans on a state level, such as Ron DeSantis, they had, and the parents had a problem when you're implementing LGBTQ studies. Why? And I'm going to ask that why? If my child is in third grade, fifth grade, even ninth, 10th, or 11th grade, why would I want them to learn about sex or sexuality? I want them to be proficient in reading, writing, and math. Now, also, why were you implementing LGBTQ in Black studies? And why were Black parents or Black organizations in a Black community allowing that? So, you on the left, you started this whole debacle, implementing things that had no place in the curriculum, number one. And then number two, the right, what they're going to do is saying, okay, you want to try and sneak this in. Well, we're going to wipe everything out. And that is what we have. And then on top of that, the right, the Republicans are saying, we want the parents to have the last say so, the first say so, and the last say so. I can't argue with that because I'm not saying that I 1000% side with Republicans, but I definitely do not side with the Democrats because sexuality and gender has nothing to do with Black studies. So, why did you introduce it in Black studies? Also, sexuality and gender has nothing to do with children going to school. That should not be part of the curriculum. If a child, an individual, feel different, that is their personal feeling. Why is that being taught in the classroom? We do not send our children to school to talk about sex. We do not send our children to school to talk about what gender they may want to change to. That's not why we send our children to school. That conversation should be had at home. Also, the conversation about sex or the conversation about gender forming or anything under that umbrella of LGBTQAI plus, that should be handled at home. A 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year old should not even be worried about that because you should be wanting to be a kid, enjoy being a child. So, why are you pushing this outside noise into the school system? And then on top of that, you are pushing it and disguising it as being part of Black studies, and it is not. Why didn't you add LGBTQ studies and Asian studies or Native American studies or European studies? Why would you just specifically slide it in Black studies? But that's a whole nother video. But my point is, I agree with the Parents' Bill of Rights. We should already have had a Parents' Bill of Rights. Parents should have control of what is said and taught to their children in school. Parents should know what is going on. Parents should get a list of the curriculum. And honestly, I thought parents always got a list of the curriculum and what is being taught at the top of every school year. My kids did, but at the same time, they went to private school. But if you are a taxpayer, your tax dollars are going to your local board of education. So you have a right to know what is being taught, who is teaching your children, why is being taught. You should have access to this information. So I 1000% support this Parents' Bill of Rights. And AOC, she could be upset all she wants, but the Republicans do control the House. And I do believe this bill will likely pass. I don't know how well it's going to do in the Senate, but I think this is a victory for the parents, as it should. So, this bill establishes various rights of parents and guardians regarding the elementary and secondary school education of their minor children. Specifically, the bill prohibits a state or its agent subdivisions or agents of its subdivisions from denying certain rights to a parent or guardian of a minor child regarding the child's education. These include, among others, the right to fully review and make copies of the curriculum, books, and other educational materials used by the child's school. Number two, to access information on teachers, guest lecturers, and outside presenters. Three, access school records. And four, visit the child during school hours. A person aggrieved by a violation of this bill and a state on behalf of its residents may bring a civil action for injunctive relief. The bill also requires the Department of Education to withhold federal education funding from a state for non-compliance with this bill. So what is the problem? This bill is just simply giving parents more rights over their children's education. You're paying for it, our tax dollars are, your property tax dollars are paying for the school education where you live at. So why not? Why can't the parents have more of a voice and control and have access to information on what exactly their children are being taught in the schools? I don't see a problem with this bill. However, AOC and some other people on the left do see a problem with this bill. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next short take.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.